to the Fantasy Football Picks and Bet Show on the Mayo Media Network. I am your host, Scott Simpson. As always, we are presented by PrizePicks. Link down in the description below. Sign up using code MMN, the Mayo Media Network. Get that $100 deposit match bonus. Sign up, play, win. That's what I like to do. That's why I have my guest here every week. He joins me. He's almost like the guest co-host. Let's just be honest here by now. It's LQ, the Real Deal Fantasy. How you doing, brother? Welcome.
What's going on, Scott? Tuesday night, we got to bring that fire. Special game this Thursday. We got a rematch.
Oh, my goodness. Do we? A trigger warning to all the Atlanta Falcons fans out there. You just got boat raced by the Dallas Cowboys. You might get boat raced again. We've got a Super Bowl 51 warning shot fired. Mac Jones coming, leading the Patriots. Not Tom Brady, but Ryan Clark did say he looks better than Tom Brady does at this point in his career. What do you think about that statement, LQ? That was pretty fire from Ryan Clark.
Yeah, that's a wild statement, honestly. I'd love to give him, courage, going into, every single game, but that's a hell of a statement.
Right. I think I understand the sentiment. It means just in this stage. Also, though, Tom Brady really wasn't groomed starting from the break.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, they got rid of Cam. So, I mean, this was from his team from the break.
Yeah. I mean, that's the huge difference there. I'm not co-signing that statement. I'll just let it play out, and then we'll see in about 5-6 years how that plays out.
Right. If he doesn't have a handful of championships, we'll circle back on Clark. We'll get him. So, no. Well, I'm excited about this game just because I do think there are going to be some points scored. Atlanta is at home. It's going to be a little bit different, hopefully, than being, in Dallas and stuff and how it's going to go. So let's take a look here at our PrizePicks props. Please go sign up for PrizePicks using MMN. That's the Mayo Media Network code. Link down in the description below. We're going to look at the passing yardage props to start with. Mac Jones and Matt Ryan, pretty reasonable props. If you look at it, in this age of passing, I know Mac Jones hasn't lit it up. They've really used the ground attack, but 239 in the hook for Mac Jones, 248 in hook for Matt Ryan. Either one you're leaning?
I'm leaning more towards Matt Ryan home in the dome, comfortable. I really feel as though this is kind of low for him. I feel as though the Pats defense is good, but they're not that good. They're in the middle of the pack. So I feel as though short turnaround, they're on the road. I feel as though this defense, they're going to get really tired out. Matt Ryan is still going to be able to pass the ball out to Pitts, and Pitts is still going to be able to do his thing. And Matt Ryan's going to find a way to get to this 248 in the hook. So I'm going to take the over on this.
Yeah, I like that. If you look at this game, you know that the Falcons are going to have to pass the ball. Mike Davis, not good.
Sure.
Cordell Patterson, good, but also used in the receiving game, not necessarily just as a featured running back. So his usage kind of spikes, goes up and down. And if you're anything, Bill Belichick's going to try to take away something in this game. If you're aware of how he likes to coach, so maybe it's Cordell Patterson, freeing up, the passing game to kind of be what it is. What about the rushing totals? They only have the quarterbacks right now. I almost laughed because I feel like I could fall forward for one of these on a QB sneak. Mac Jones 3 in a hook and Matt Ryan 2 in a hook.
I'm more so leaning towards the Mac Jones for the over for 3.5. 7 weeks in a row, he has at least had one rushing attempt. So I feel as though he can easily get, 4 yards. That's there. If that's one of the throwaway picks that I would take, but Matt Ryan running for 2.5, no, I'm staying away. That's a clear fade.
Yeah. No, he runs backwards. That's the only thing he does. Speaking of some of his receivers who are running forwards, not backwards, hopefully. They do like to do those little side screens every once in a while. But let's take a look at the receiving yardage props here. I think there's some really good totals. Nobody over 70. So just to kind of give you the sense, it's all kind of lower numbers. It's not a huge passing offense, either one of them. But what do you think about either the Patriots or the Falcons? Whose side are you kind of looking at?
All these are great. Like you said, none of them are crazy high. And I feel as though if we're going to lean towards Matt Ryan hitting the over, I'll probably take the Pitts 65.5. I like that, he could be the focal point in this game. He could really highlight and shine. And again, it's a short turnaround. It's there at home. And you gotta understand, Thursday night games are wonky. The craziest things happen. It's been we're into week 11 now. And there's not a Thursday night game where somebody exploded, showed up and showed out. So Pitts for 65.5. I like that one. I actually like the Jacoby Myers one, but I have a feeling that he's going to get the under on here. He's not a guy that gets the huge yards, but he gets the targets. But I don't feel as though he'll get over 50.5. And if we look at last week, it was kind of weird that, 4 targets, 4 catches, 4 targets, 4 catches for Hunter Henry, Jacoby Myers. Nelson Aguilar was left out because he's a bum, but Kendrick Bourne also 4 targets and 4 catches. So the ball's being spread out evenly. So I feel as though, I don't think 50 and a hook for Jacoby Myers is a thing for the over. So I'll probably take the under here.
If you really like Myers, you could pick up his 10 and a hook for fancy points, thinking maybe he gets another touchdown now that he's.
Oh, yeah. We got to celebrate that.
Oh, yeah. He actually said at the press conference, it meant a lot to him that his whole team came and celebrated him.
Celebrated. And I think he said the record. And his dad was on him about not scoring all these weeks.
He's in the record book. He had the most regular season, pass attempts or catches or whatever it was, or yards, I think it was, without getting a touchdown. So, 1,500 yards, something like that. So good for him. I think more to come. So I like the points better than the yardage total as well. If you take a look on the other side, Russell Gage did not show up yesterday or 2 days ago at all. My wife, who I had said to play Russell Gage, she said, "Hey, good thing I didn't listen to you. I played from Andre Stevenson instead." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Why am I listening to you?" Anyway, I said, "It'd be a burden off my soul if you stop." So she's not going to be listening to my fantasy football advice anymore. Thank God. It's so annoying to every time I'm wrong, have my wife like, "I thought you're a fantasy analyst." So, my wife's gotten second place 4 times in a row in her league. She doesn't need my help either.
Wow.
She's the fire content only in my house. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out my wife, Rose Simpson, good woman. So I'll say, speaking of Nelson Aguilar, his is 30 and a hook. So if you're going downfield passing and you want to be on the gamble train, you could jump on that Nelson Aguilar. I'm not touching it. You could go under. You could go under it, and there maybe get a little bit of easy money, as we say. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see if more props come out too. And if anything, I do like the Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry, man, what a nice target in the end zone. He's been 7 touchdowns so far. He's fire content only in the end zone if you get down there. That's just really good. Maybe his prop for the fantasy markets where you want to go with his points this week. Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about touchdowns. Mac Jones, 1.5. What do you think about this? This is a little suspect in my eyes.
It is sus. I feel as though he'll hit it. I'll take the over here, absolutely, being that we just were talking about Hunter Henry being death taxes, Hunter Henry red zone target, a.k.a. touchdown. So I definitely will be looking. Yeah, he can easily have 2. It could be both touchdowns to Hunter Henry, and then, boom, you cash in on the Mac Jones 1.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, and if anything, the Atlanta Falcons are going to be able to hopefully give up lots of touchdowns, because that's what they've done so far to wide receivers. They've given up 13 touchdowns that they've given up so far. So I mean, Hunter Henry, not a wide receiver per se, but down the end zone, he's 100% a wide receiver. So I like that prop to cash. Nice little sneaky one there. It just smelled as it was. Sometimes they look on the surface, you're like, what is that? Is that simple? Then you're like, come here, look at this, buddy. Come here.
Wait, look at this.
Wait, look at this. Is this what it is? It is. Oh, wow. Check it out. So nice prize pick there. Let's talk about the fantasy points here. And then we're going to get out of here on the prize pick section. So anything that caught your eye initially when you saw these picks?
Yes. When you mentioned Jacoby Myers, the 10.5, this is a gamble. This is a hot gamble, because I think we're going to ride off of momentum and he gets in the end zone again, because 1 touchdown, 6 points in most leagues, you're already like halfway there to have that 10.5 and hook. So I'm going to gamble this week, Jacoby Myers. This is me being a fan of him, me excited for him to hit the end zone. Do it again.
Do it. I'm going to jump on that with another teammate of his, Hunter Henry, 7 and a hook. You get a touchdown. That's, the one point for the catch, and then 6 points for the touchdown. Hopefully it's for more than a yard. You know what I mean?
Hopefully 3 yards.
You get 1 play, you get this prop. So I think this was a pretty easy one to go for Hunter Henry. You saw how just dynamic he is down there. He hit him with the shimmy and the shake. That's what happened. He didn't have to get physical, which he can do too, because he's a big man, So he just did a little shake, and then Mac Jones looked him off. That was the best part of it. He looked the safety away, so he didn't feel no middle linebacker, whoever was there. and they went right to him. He was a design play. They've done it 10, 15 times in practice. So I love that. And then also, I'm not going to co-sign anybody getting a big day here, but if you look at both of the quarterbacks, 15 and a hook and 16, I think they're both reasonable. I don't think they're very moonshots here. If you think there's a couple touchdowns that are thrown, maybe 200 yards plus, I think they're both doable. Is there one that you would lean if you would you're maybe stacking something up crazy, like going for a 5-leg parlay? Who would you want in this narrative we kind of talked about so far?
I'll probably stick with Mac Jones, 15 and a hook. I definitely feel as though, he can definitely hit that with more weapons, honestly, than a Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan's home, so I wouldn't want to gamble both, but I'm leaning towards the lower number here for him to hit the over.
Fire content only. That is my man, LQ. I love it. Please do sign up. Down in the description below, there is a link to PrizePicks, code MMN for the Mayo Media Network. And while you're there, like and subscribe and retweet and post all over Facebook and tell your mom and tell your grandma, tell your kid, hide your wife, everybody. Tell them to come over here Tuesday nights, watch LQ and myself, Scott Simpson, talk fire content, PrizePicks, start sits, and then injuries. So, all right, let's jump into the start sits. This week, we had one for every category, which I love. This is the first question. Get your fire content in. We need it. Aaron Rodgers versus Kirk Cousins. They're going to be playing this Sunday. Initially, I thought, slam dunk, Aaron Rodgers, right? That was my initial thought because it's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers averaging 18.4, Kirk Cousins 19.6. So what is a little context there, right? It hasn't been as Aaron Rodgers MVP friendly this year as it has last year with Devontae Adams. COVID missing a few games here and there. Where are you leaning in this? Is it a comeback for Rodgers, or are the Kirk Cousins going to be trailing and they need to catch up?
It's a division game, so it definitely makes the atmosphere a little bit more intense. So I'm going to lean Aaron Rodgers. He's going to bounce back. He's going to put up big points. Kirk Cousins is the most inconsistent, quarterback we know. The man, he started off great, then he went on a slow slump, and then he's okay back now. I feel as though, Aaron Rodgers turns it up when it's a division game. So I'm definitely going Aaron Rodgers on this one.
Yeah, I think you can never go wrong with Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the play, always the play. I like it. Next, I saw somebody, my guy, your friend as well, Troy King on the Twitters. Love that guy. He was talking on the Sports Me app about starting Myles Gaskin. I had a question: Myles Gaskin versus the Jets, or Pollard versus the Chiefs. What are we doing here, people?
I mean, if we're gonna stick with trends, the most bi-weekly, most toxic top 20 running back, Myles Gaskins, is due for a good game this week against the Jets. It's just basically hot, cold, up, down. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Myles Gaskins, because it's like when he has his toughest matchup against the Bucs, he put up the highest points he's did in his career in PPR formats. And it's like, how?
What had happened was,
it doesn't make sense how that happens. And it's like, okay, fine. You're going to be toxic. I'm just going to play you every other week, and I'll just accept that. So honestly, to answer the question, I'm going to go Myles Gaskins this week versus the Jets.
I like it. Troy likes it too. Troy co-signs that. That was his point. I'm always chasing that super game out of Tony Pollard, and the Chiefs game could be the game, but I think Myles Gaskin's the safe play. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I think Tony Pollard only turns up really, like, he gets the points. Like, he just had a good game last week. That's because they were up so much. So therefore Zeke gets more rest. That's why Tony Pollard was out there doing what he does best, to fill in. That's why I feel like this Chiefs game, it might be a different energy. You got Pat Mahomes back to business. I feel as though, that defense can click a little bit more better, but I feel as though it might be a good game.
Yeah. Have you seen speaking of the Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys, the Travion Diggs, his son Aiden, and his video when he meets Dak again, and he calls him Pat Mahomes, and he goes, Pat Mahomes still, you're Dak Prescott. He's like, yeah, nice to meet you. How you doing? That guy is the cutest little kid ever, and I hope he's all over the Twitters for you this week as this game goes up, because he should be a star, man. Give that kid his own show. He's so cute, man. I love that star. He's awesome. So, all right, let's jump down some wide receiver talk here. Brandon Cooks coming off the bye with Tyrod Taylor. Hopefully, have a little bit more, rhythm. I don't know. Devonta Smith just coming off a big game, nice little butt touchdown. Love that when you can say that. The announcers are like, I think he has one butt cheek down 2 feet.
Man, it's a touchdown.
Getting to say butt cheek, they get all like hyper excited about it. Like, all right, calm down. I know you're on the radio, but chill out. But what do you think? Who are you leaning this matchup?
I'm leaning Smith, man. I love what Jalen Hurts is doing right now. He's a top 7 quarterback. He has that dual threat. Him and Smith have been clicking. The chemistry just has been looking beautiful, man. I'm not ready to roll the dice on Brandon Cooks again with Tyrod Taylor back into it because it looks like Tyrod Taylor has some rust on him, or I don't know what the case may be, but it just didn't look good for Brandon Cooks when he was in my lineup when he played. So I'm going to lean Smith and take the momentum here.
Go with Smith. All right, last one on the position by position breakdown. Dan Arnold lighting it up down there in Jacksonville, like their leading receiver. He almost got a touchdown too, by the way. All my DFS lineups went, and then it just got tackled at the one. Story of my life. All right, or Ty Conklin coming out there in Minnesota. Both of them are like must start guys in real fantasy.
Oh, they're both getting solid volume. Like this is literally a toss up. Like I don't want to put it on video to say one or the other. Like, honestly, just flip a coin. Like,
Dan Conklin.
Yes. That's the same play. That's the same play right there.
Ty Arnold or Dan Conklin. Go with one of those plays.
Definitely the same play there. I really don't know, though, to be serious, because they're both getting solid volume. And I like how Conklin is being used like Irv Smith was last season when he was healthy in the red zone. So I really feel as though you have the upside with both. You have the upside with a possible touchdown that Dan Arnold was supposed to score last week. But he's getting solid volume as well as Conklin. So, yeah, flip a coin.
Flip a coin. I think you're not going to be disappointed either way. I think they're both starters.
No. Yeah.
Okay. We got one flex question and we'll jump into injuries and we'll be out of here. So Antonio Gibson coming off a 2-touchdown performance always inflates people's value. Next, what do you do for me next? And then Hunter Renfrow, solid 17.6 fantasy points, solid so far. Who are you leaning this week? He's up against Cincinnati while Gibson goes up against Carolina.
I'm leaning more Hunter Renfrow. I understand that Gibson had the 2-touchdown game, but if we really look into that, going into the fourth quarter, he had no points. Like it was just disgusting. It was like, yeah, he had the volume, but he wasn't doing anything. And we look at the yards that he had when he finished with, it's like it's not really anything great. So I feel as though he lived off those 2 touchdowns to be fantasy relevant to save his week. Hunter Renfrow, he has the volume. He has the crazy route tree that he's putting on display. And I like that he's a red zone target as well. So I want to go with the guy that has more volume and has more upside with the better matchup.
Yeah, he's got a cooler nickname, Third and Renfro. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Antonio Gibson, he's a good guy. I love his story, but he does not have a cool nickname. I mean,
make one, Giddy Up Gibson. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. It's still not as good though.
Yeah. It has no meaning.
No, it's not right. Yeah. And even over there, they got Scary Terry McLaurin. So they've got a cooler nickname already. He's already behind the 8 ball, So, all right. Well, I like it. Thank you guys. Keep sending us your start sits. One of my favorite things we do every single week. All right, let's jump into my least favorite subject, just because it does deal with the kind of the dark side of football, the injury side of football. But we need you to know, and we need to know what's going on with these players so you can adjust your lineups and get yourself set. Biggest news of the injury week so far: Aaron Jones, doubtful, probably out a couple weeks, sprained MCL. What does this look like? We talked about the scenario for AJ Dillon a bunch of times, but how inflated does his value make it? Is he really a top 5 back?
I would pump the brakes on top 5. I definitely believe, these next 2 weeks, he'll be able to get the volume. He'll get the touches. I just feel as though I just don't want to full send it to where we're saying he's top 5 and then that doesn't end up happening because, again, Aaron Jones is a huge piece to that offense. I definitely love that they're able to coexist and et cetera. But A.J. Dillon, he has some shoes to fill. He also needs to get involved in the passing game. I know he's been getting involved. Like, he can catch. Like, everybody was, like, doubting him coming out of college that he couldn't catch. But he shows some display. But if he gets the volume that Aaron Jones gets out of the backfield, A.J. Dillon could put on something special. But he has the 2 weeks to show us and show up and show out. So I feel good about him. And they had that bye. So Aaron Jones, essentially gets 3 weeks to rest up. So, ride the wave until it crashes.
And if you're somebody who in the league your home league, or maybe you're in a dynasty league and you want to get some value out of AJ Dillon right now, trade him to the guy who rosters Aaron Jones. Let him know, hey, he is for sale. Jack the price up, make an extra pick, whatever you're going to do. Get your money's worth, though. This is the time to do it. If you want to keep him, though, like you said, LQ, ride the wave. I like it. Some injury news from this game. We didn't talk about him really not on the slate too much. Cordell Patterson is questionable, has an ankle issue. Sounds like he's practicing, though. He sounds good to go.
Yeah, he was practicing today. I'm not too sure, the extent of it, but I'm pretty sure he was limited, but he's still questionable. That's something to monitor for the next couple of days. And then I'm sure he'll show up and show out on Thursday, though.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go through the next section of just the folks so far that are questionable. We're not leaning one way or the other, but we have seen some of them miss for sure. So, Kyler Murray, Colt McCoy, both dealing with separate injuries here, getting thin at the quarterback there, for a team that was weeks ago thought of as a Super Bowl contender. What's going on in the desert?
Injuries, man. It's tough right now. I mean, you get AJ Green back, from COVID last week, the week before that, and then D-Hop still out, questionable with that hamstring. Kyler dealing with an ankle. I guess the swelling just keeps returning back. Not too sure on that, but they're thinking long ball. They're thinking about playoffs. They want him 100% healthy. These games in the middle, they're still finding ways to win. They're still finding ways to have some fight in them. Colt McCoy being injured, that's just unfortunate, man. That kind of forces, Kyler to move back into the picture a little bit quicker than probably expected for that ankle, but we shall see how that turns out.
Yeah, hopefully they're all healed up, and D-Hop as well. They get back to running like they used to. Latavius Murray, questionable for the Ravens. Baker Mayfield, day-to-day. He got out in that game against, we talked about the New England Patriots. They got a savage defense, right? They crushed him. He got knocked out. CeeDee Lamb dealing with an arm injury. What I hear from the coach, he's good to go. He'll make it, not a problem. Yeah. And then in Detroit, you've got Jamal Williams and Jamar Jefferson, both questionable. The last couple of weeks, Williams has been out. So the only reason I said that Jefferson got a touchdown, and then somebody who I can't even pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try, got a touchdown last week for Detroit. So that backfield,
the backups, all the backups scored, but Swift.
right, exactly. Alvin Kamara missed the game. He's questionable. Keep an eye on that. Did you see that coming, LQ? He was not on our radar last week at all.
I did not, honestly. That kind of just popped up, a few days before game day. Hopefully, he's good. Hopefully it's not anything too serious.
Yes. And speaking of nothing too serious, hopefully Saquon can finally get back on the field. Had a bye week, had some time to rest. So the Giants had Saquon and Shepard and Booker, all kind of questionable this week leading in, which is good. And then on the other side of the New York, Zach Wilson is questionable. I don't know if that's good or bad. Mike White said he should have been the first round pick when he was drafted. Sounded great, after his performance. And then he came out and 4 picks later, he was,
embarrassing.
Reminding why he was not the first pick. So hopefully Zach Wilson's back. And then a couple big guys, Dallas Goedert, questionable. Chase Claypool, questionable. Not maybe huge, but Deebo Samuel, questionable. We got a bone bruise. So Elijah Mitchell, fractured finger.
Yikes.
Gronk still questionable. Antonio Gibson questionable. All these guys, kind of monitor them in your lineup, see how they're doing this week. I'm worried about Antonio Gibson. He's been out for a month now. Antonio Brown. Sorry, thank you. Not Giddy Up Gibson there.
Giddy Up Gibson.
Yeah, not at all. And then on the other front, Sam Darnold probably out for the season. It's not official yet, but it looks like it's leaning that way. And Cam is back.
I'm back, baby.
Oh, I love seeing that. That was great. I did talk to my co-host on the Fantasy Millionaire show about, his wardrobe and how he's just wild out there. And my favorite is when he wears the hats and they compare him to a grandma with her hats and stuff. So I love it, man. It's just, it's a personality. I appreciate people who want to be themselves and who just make me laugh. So he's good. He's good for the league for sure. A couple injuries, people coming off. We saw, Gallup return last week. CEH, they're projecting he gets off the injury report. That's great. Yeah, good news. I mean, not for Williams shareholders there, but still good for the Chiefs. Miles Sanders could be back. Chris Carson possibly trending towards being back. Maybe if not this week, the next week. And then we talked about Logan Thomas last week. He's practicing. So out of the 4 of these, who do you think makes the biggest impact when they come back?
Honestly, I would hope it's Miles Sanders, but I have a feeling they'll go back to running the ball 9 times when he's back on the field.
Guys, we're going to change our whole offense.
That's what I fear, though. But I feel as though if they keep what they're doing now and add Miles Sanders there, he'll make a huge impact for fantasy.
No, I like that. Yeah, give him the Jordan Howard role that suddenly created.
That suddenly just came out of nowhere as soon as he gets hurt. Yeah, we're gonna run the ball more. Oh yeah, Miles Sanders on IR, by the way.
Hashtag Miles Sanders is out. Run the ball more. So well, I can tell you, I love doing these shows with you. Highlight of my week for sure. Thanks for joining us. Where can people find you? I know this is not the only fire content you're producing.
Oh yeah, you can find me at Real Deal Fantasy on Facebook, MySpace, whatever you want to call it, Tumblr. You can find me on Instagram, Real Deal Fantasy, and of course on Twitter, Real Deal Fantasy, and on YouTube. I'll be putting out content all week. Content coming out of 32-Bit, which is Marcus Grant's company over there. And you can check me out writing for Downtown Rams. I got an article coming out tonight, actually.
Excellent. And don't forget, LQ is verified. Remind him when you see him, let him know he's verified. He loves that. You can find me at nimblewnumbers.com and at nimblewnumbers on Twitter. It's implicit for nimble with. Paul Howdy calls me Nim Blue Numbers. I thought the British people could read. I don't like Paul Howdy's like making you look bad over there, Brits. You know, I did have to be. I was sent over, and I did a year of Fulbright teaching as an educator. They sent me to the UK to raise up one class. They're like, listen, we need this class to be smarter. So far that we haven't been able to do it. We need an American to come help us. So I went over there, got these kids' test scores up. They're all brilliant right now. So you're welcome, Paul Howdy, helping the Brits. Shout out Paul Howdy. I do love that guy over there. I want to give him a hard time. But please, do check us all out. Follow Pat Mayo over at the Mayo Media Network. Follow the Mayo Media Network. Like and subscribe to this network right now. We got to get over 30,000 if we haven't. And then sign up right now in the PrizePicks link down below. $100 deposit match bonus when you sign up. Please, MMN is the code. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.